Yo, what is up, boys? Party Waffles here, and today I'm going to make you guys a new 11.25 tier list. But this tier list is going to be slightly different than the other tier lists we've made. So usually we combine 3v3 and solo into one list, but I'm actually going to split it up here, okay? So we're going to make a solo shuffle tier list of only solo shuffle, not threes and solo shuffle hybrid. This is just strictly solo shuffle, so it's going to be more accurate. And we're actually going to place them from left to right. So in the left of the category is going to be the strongest. In the right side is going to be the weakest. So let's jump right into this, okay? So off the rip, we're going to start with the weakest classes, in my opinion. So the F tier is mostly going to be like the tank tier, but let's just throw them in quickly because this is solo shuffle. Most of them are pretty weak, but I will rate the tanks that are actually good. But so we're just going to throw these ones down here at baseline F. Those are pretty garbage. Next thing we have here is we're going to go with Augvoker, okay? In the top of the C tier is going to be Augvoker. It has some good damage, it has some ability, but in my opinion, it's just a weaker Devastation Evoker in more or less every single way at this point. We're going to put Blood DK in the C tier. It is better than the other tanks, but it's still kind of mid because it's a tank in solo shuffle, but it is a step up above the other tanks. The next thing we have here in the B tier. So the top of the B tier, in my opinion, is going to be Sub Rogue. Good mobility, some decent damage. It's not quite as good as it used to be in solo shuffle at all right now. But after that, we're going to go with Mistweaver Monk, okay? So I think Mistweaver Monk is currently the second weakest healer. The only thing weaker, in my opinion, is Resto Druid. So we're going to put the Resto Druid just under the Mistweaver in the B tier there. And then we're going to put Frost Mage in the B tier as well. Actually, we're going to jump Frost Mage up just a little bit here. We're actually going to put the Frost Mage above the Sub Rogue, okay? Frost Mage, you can hit 10 million Glacial Spikes, so it's kind of got a little bit of a Destro Warlock thing going on. If you let it free cast, it's going to kind of kill everybody. But yeah, so there we got the B tier there. Nothing too crazy there. And then we're going to go up into the A tier. So there's the A tier is going to be kind of heavy, but again, it's left to right, right? So you could just assume the far left is like A+, and then the lowest is A-, essentially. So you kind of can get a little bit of a breakdown there. So at the top of the A tier, I'm going to put Assassination Rogue. Across the board in NAEU, really high ratings, really high control, really high damage, really strong class, good with a lot of things that it can pair with, or that you could get paired with, rather. Fire Mage. Strangely, Fire Mage actually is the best spec of Mage right now out of the three. Arcane is kind of close to it, but Fire does take the cake right now in terms of just overall everything. So next we have Beast Mastery Hunter. I'm going to put the Beastmaster Hunter there. Third strongest class in the A tier. It isn't the strongest Hunter spec, but it is the second strongest in my opinion. After the BM Hunter, we're going to go with Demon Hunter. Really strong again. A really strong class right there. Strong melee pick. You have Immortal Strike. You have a lot of mobility. You're decently tanky into some things. And you have a lot of crowd control. So the next class we have after Demon Hunter, in my opinion, is Survival Hunter. They're very strong across the board. Again, all the Hunter specs, whether it's the Purple Hunter, any of the Green Hunters, they're all very strong right now. This can one-shot you. They can all, yeah, they're really good. So next we have Boomkin, which actually pairs really nice with the Survival Hunter. But Boomkin in Solo Shuffle is really good. You can kind of just run away and do crazy damage, and then you have spammable clones. So really strong class. They're decently tanky too into certain things. I'm going to put Unholy DK up here in the higher part of the A tier. So Unholy and Solo Shuffle is really good, right? You're a little bit cucked by Prot Paladins, but overall, pretty strong. Because you're strong into a lot of these things. Like DK MM Hunter goes together really well. And there is a lot of MM Hunters, believe it or not. After you see the S tier, you'll see why. But unfortunately, Unholy does not do the best into Prot Paladin, which is kind of handicapping them a little bit. But yeah, so let's go next here. The thing right after Unholy DK, I believe, is... I'm trying to find it here. Enchantment Shaman, yeah. I think Enhanced Shamans are really good in Solo Shuffle. There was a little minute where they weren't doing the best, but I was actually just talking to Big Dam recently, and he found another build where they are succeeding as, so I'm going to sauce that in right there, okay? And then Feral Druid. It's about mid A tier. The class got buffed. It's pretty good with certain things now, but it's not Giga broken or anything like that, but it's definitely just a solid class. We're going to throw in the Outlaw Rogue there. You'd be surprised. I thought Outlaw would have been lower, but then I was looking at the ladder in North America and EU, right? So all this is based on me spam queuing, as well as like looking at the statistics, right? Like the numbers across the regions and everything like that. So that's where I'm coming up with these, by the way. But Outlaw is 2,900 roughly on EU, I think. And on NA, it's pretty high too. So I'm surprised by how high Outlaw is, but Outlaw is actually very good. So after the Outlaw, we're going to throw the Shadow Priest there. And then, yeah, just decent class, decent damage, decent survivability, nothing too crazy. Aflock, we're going to put it up there. There's a 2,900 plus Aflock in Solo Shuffle, which means it definitely has some decent viability. I actually think that the order of the lock specs is Demo, Af, Destro. That's what I think. Next here, we're going to have Eliasham. We're going to throw that in there. It's all right. Decent class. Nothing too crazy. It's just mid to A tier class, viable, but not broken. Priest. So Disc Priest, I actually had Disc Priest at the S tier, but since the nerfs, we're going to throw Disc Priest down into the A tier. I think it took a little hit. I'm not seeing Disc Priest every single game anymore. There's actually some variation now. So after the Priest, we're going to throw... I think all the healers are relatively close together now, right? Like you're going to see here. I think they're all kind of like mid A tier. Maybe A plus tier. But I don't think any healer is overarchingly broken now or overarchingly underpowered. You know what I mean? Like I think they're all close. If I have any one of these three healers on my team, I'm happy, right? If I have not one of these three, I'm a little bit less happy. But one of those four. The next thing we have here is Devastation Evoker. So Devastation Evoker is going to be going into the A tier. Like mid A tier. Again, I said it's just way better than the AUG, right? After the reason being, they just more damage, more mobility. They have everything. Spammable sleep. They have it all. It's a really good class. Really good, well-rounded class. Next thing we have here is Frosty K. So I think Frosty K in Solo Shuffle is a little bit under pushed right now. I think if people were to spam Q Frost right now, the rating for it would go a lot higher. But I do think it's a little under pushed. But I don't think it's as good as Unholy. I think it's worse than Unholy. So we're going to put it down just slightly under the Unholy. Down a little lower in the A tier. And then we're going to have Arms Warrior. So I don't think particularly either spec of Warrior is so good in Solo Shuffle right now. But we're going to just sauce it up in there. Actually, I'm going to put Arcane Mage just before Arms Warrior there. Because I've actually been fighting a few Arcane Mages recently. And they seem pretty strong. Even stronger than I was thinking at first. So next we're going to go with Demo Warlock. And then we're going to go with Windwalker. And then we're going to go with Fury Warrior. Okay, and that's going to be the A tier right there. Those classes are the bottom of the A tier, which I believe are the worst classes. So remember, guys, left to right, best, worst in the tier. Okay, not left to right. Well, it is still left to right in the second row as well. So yeah, left to right, whichever way you're looking is left to right. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do, Paladin. So Prot Paladin is actually really, really, really broken in Solo Shuffle. Like Prot Paladin is actually, I think it might even be higher rated than Holy Paladin in Solo Shuffle. Possibly all the healers. But we'll put it just above Holy Paladin because I think it is actually higher than Holy Paladin. But yeah, so I mean, they changed the way Prot Pally works in Arena, right? So in Solo Shuffle, the way that it worked before was Prot Pally counted as a healer, okay? So you would have two Prot Pallys instead of healers. But they changed the way it works now. So instead of a healer, it counts as a DPS now. So you essentially have Prot Pally and a healer on one team. And it's just really, really OP for damping everything like that. All right, so now the S tier. Here we go, boys. In my opinion, the most broken class in the S tier is Marksman Hunter. The most broken. Look at the ladder. Play the game. I'm sure you've seen them. I'm sure you've seen double Marksman lobbies, triple Marksman lobbies. They're everywhere. They one-shot. They're just absolutely godly. The class is disgustingly broken. It's just the most broken thing since sliced bread now that Priest is gone. Next, after that, we have Ret Pally. And then remember, this is Solo Shuffle only. So Ret Pally in Solo Shuffle is just an absolute menace, man. Magic Bop, Lay on Hands, Bubble, Sack Immunity to Dots, Free Dub. Like, it just, the list goes on. The list goes on. I can't even name how many times. I can't even count how many times I've lost a game in the last 3 seasons because it's deep dampening, right? And then the Paladin just presses Magic Bop and it's just over. It's just over, right? It's unrecoverable at that point if they wait long enough to press it. So there's that. And then, of course, Destro Warlock, I think, is also S tier. I think this is the lower end of the S tier. It's not just, you have to perform on it to make it S tier, but Solo shuffle kind of helps that, right? Because people are going to give you precogs. It's going to be a little bit less coordinated than like threes or voice cues, right? So the odds of you getting precogs, the odds of you catching people in a mistake, bad positioning, and you can just end the game very quickly in a bolt, kind of like MM can end it with an aim shot. But you have to cast those a little more, so it's a little lower in my opinion. But still, very, very strong. Can end the game, very oppressive. And half the time I queue at high rating, there's 2 Destro locks in my lobby. Not only that, but if you go look at the number 1 on the entire solo shuffle ladder right now, the highest person in the game is a Destro Warlock. So between that, I'm going to mark that in the S tier, but the lowest part. So there you have it, guys. My 11.25 solo shuffle only tier list, organized left to right. Let me know in the comments what you agree, disagree with. Let me know if you enjoyed the video like this in this new style with the left to right rankings and the like only solo shuffle instead of 3 solo hybrid. And other than that, you guys can catch me at twitch.tv/partywafflesx. I stream 5 days a week, and I'll be live this coming Tuesday for my 5th ever subathon, 24/7 stream. As long as you guys make it go, there's going to be challenges, goals. It's going to be a great time. But anyways, I will see you guys there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So take it easy. Peace.